Yeah, so 3.5 years ago, 3 years ago or so in the Pacific Northwest, I'm sure if you were here, it was a heat dome here, and it was terrible. I was moving on that weekend, so it was the worst move ever. Going into a U-Haul truck, I took my little infrared heat gun, and it was 57 degrees in that U-Haul truck. It was terrible. Yeah, that heat dome really kind of changed the demand for cooling. Now it wasn't just the clientele that was saying, hey, we want to purchase apartments that have cooling, or this office space absolutely needs to have cooling. It was actually now being mandated in places that it was never mandated before. Climate's changing, that's undeniable. And now it's like I'm seeing the design temperatures that engineers are designing to, that's now changing too. So the heating temperature of this space, or the outdoor air heating temperature of this space, is much higher than what it was 10 years ago. That's actually changed on their plans. So units that before didn't require any cooling, now definitely that's mandated and need cooling. So before, where you could build an apartment building on the top of Burnaby Mountain in Simon Fraser University, that could be done just heating only. You can't do that anymore. It now needs to have cooling. Schools could just be heating only, and now I'm seeing schools that in jurisdictions that were heating only, now they're requiring heating and cooling in those classrooms. And a big component to that too is like, okay, let's also heating, cooling, fresh air. Let's bring the fresh air at the same time as the cooling in that classroom and make it actually so much more comfortable. The first school we ever did in British Columbia was a school in South Vancouver. They had no cooling. But they made the step to actually bring in fresh air into that classroom through active ventilation. No heat recovery, but they were actually bringing in fresh air into each classroom through a MERV 13 filter, and like on an on-demand basis. So it was a pretty efficient system for the time, but there was no cooling in that space. So if it was 31 degrees outside, you're bringing in 31 degrees air. And September, after the units were installed, there was a heat wave in that September, and brand new school. And I remember walking into the school just to kind of do a demo, and we had provided heating units, and there was no cooling through them. And the teachers were like, what's wrong? Like, this is brand new school, it's 32 degrees in my classroom, I can't be in here, I can't teach elementary school children with this 31 degrees in here. So now I'm definitely seeing schools that they're adding cooling units in the ceiling, they're ensuring that they get that active ventilation and they keep those CO2 levels down in the space, while also keeping the temperature no warmer than 24 degrees Celsius. So yeah, big changes I'm seeing there.